Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to another episode of Once Upon a Game. We are playing story games and cool, interesting things. So, hello. Gather around the fire. Get yourself a cup of hot cocoa or tea or whiskey or whatever. A hot toddy. I want a hot toddy really bad right now. And yeah, and come gather around. And we're going to be playing a game called Fall of Magic. Fall of Magic is designed by Heart of the Deernicorn, which is Ross Cowman's design group. So that's super awesome. Shout out to Ross for developing this game. It's a really, really fun game. I've played it a few times before. It's one of my favorite games to play at a convention. And let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. You might be seeing that I'm playing it online. The game in real life comes on this super, super awesome scroll. It's like this handmade scroll. It's gorgeous. I think Kelsey's looking for her own copy of it right now.
I am.
It is a great game. It's a game that you could play with your friends and your parents even when you go home for Christmas.
Not within easy arm's reach.
So
going off.
hopefully you enjoy it. We're gonna try to play the whole game tonight. So you guys get the full experience of it. There's many ways to play this game. Has a lot of replayability, although it's very, I guess the way you might see is linear or somewhat of branching paths. But even when that happens, it's a lot of fun. We were playing it on Roll20. Shout out to Roll20 for being awesome and letting us play games on it because it's super awesome. I don't know what to do. My life would be significantly worse without it. I am using the Roll20 module for Fall of Magic. So if you're like me and you want to play it on the internets and you have a lot of friends online you want to play, definitely check it out because as you can see the scroll art and everything is here. We got some cool tokens as you'll see later. Everything's all set up for you. It's really nice. So definitely check that out. So that being said, let's talk to our guests here today. So Golden, what's up?
Man, it's been the best of times. It's been the worst of times.
Yeah, right?
It's been an age
Hasn't
of
it?
creativity. It's been an age of scheduling hell.
Yes, it has been.
Yeah. But we're here now. We're going to play Fall of Magic. I've never played this before. I'm pretty excited. It's like watching you guys play. I was like, how can I play this game?
Yeah.
I don't know how. And then we played the Mars game. The Mars game was great. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
Life
excited.
on Mars is killer. That's another game by Heart of the Deernicorn. Definitely highly recommended if you like this game, but you want to do something more like The Martian. Sci-fi. Awesome. Kelsa, what's up? How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing fairly well. Normally during this time slot, I'm being an adorable mouse, having adorable mouse adventures, but unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, that's not happening. So here I am. I really like Fall of Magic, and if I had just a little bit more uh, energy, I would have got up and showed you all the beautiful physical copy that exists because it is.
We can't emphasize enough how awesome the physical game of this is. It's gorgeous.
It's a literal scroll, and
Yeah.
it's like all of that art that you can see on like a map. Like you roll it up. Ooh,
It's pretty. It's very pretty,
really
guys.
pretty.
Yeah. You'll go to a convention and maybe you walk around the game floor, you'll see some people playing this thing on a scroll and you're like, what's that? It's Fall of Magic and it's awesome. So enough talking about telling you it's awesome. How about we show you why it's awesome? So Fall of Magic, like I was talking about a little bit earlier, it's a story game. It's a game about discovery. It's a game about traveling. It's a game about ourselves. It's a game about magic. It's about this world that we exist in, and that, I could describe it, but Golden Age, why don't you describe it for us? How would you mind looking at Roll20 underneath Fall of Magic, the logo here on the left? Would you mind reading those words in red?
Sure. Magic is dying. The Magus is dying with it. We travel together to the realm of Umbra, where magic was born.
Yep, that's the pretense to our game. Everything else will be given to us and what we put forward in our own collaborative space. Like I said, this is a story game, so you will be relying on your imagination a lot, even more so where you're doing a lot of collaborative world building on the fly. So that's going to be something that we need to consider going forward. And anytime we're doing collaborative world building or collaborative things like this, we need to be careful, we need to be safe. So I want you guys to always be like super awesome and push forward cool ideas, go with the first thing that's in your head. Oftentimes it's awesome. Steal liberally from things you have read or other games you have played or movies you've seen. But also keep in mind that we are adults here playing a game together, and I know we've played games before together. Just be careful if there's something that you're not cool with, like subject material, certain things, just be willing to put that forward and be like, hey, can we shy away from that? The worst case scenario, you can always X card, like, yeah, we can like say a really hard thing, don't have to justify it. But other times, if you just want to be like, hey, do you mind if we like fade to black there or whatever, that's cool too. Whatever, just we're people playing a game. That's what we agree on. It's the social contract. That's what we're all agreeing to do here today. So yeah, let's make our characters. So character generation starts by selecting a name. I guess it would be preferable if we don't select the same name, but we will be choosing our names from the list here on the left hand side of the screen. As you can see on the map, we got is that 9 names?
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. And the idea is that the prompts of this game and the art of this game is supposed to be evocative. It's supposed to start giving you somewhat of an idea of your character and kind of letting it develop and snowball, essentially, into a finished concept by the end of it. So, is any of these names jumping out to anybody real quick?
Yeah, I want to play Fawn.
Okay.
I kind of want to play Vago.
Cool. I have my eyes on River.
All right.
Okay, so now that we have our names, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be selecting our title. Our title will be one of these 3 topics of a place. These places do show up on the map when we play, so keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and select something. So for example, an example title complete would be Fugitive of Stormguard, right? Or Giant of the Mistwood. You can take this as literal or as figurative as you want. That's another thing about this game, is that you can, if we all want to be animals, you could totally play this game as all animals. If you want to, you could do things in a very, very different way every time you play. So, is any of these things jumping out to anybody? I like to,
Will already wrote his down.
Will already wrote his down. Fugitive Stormguard. Okay. Fawn is a Fugitive Stormguard. Oh, what's up, Serial Comma? How's it going? Okay. Let's see. What do I want? The name like River. I'm thinking I want to do... I'm going to do Hero of Barleytown. I'm going to be a hero. If that's cool.
So I had this idea actually before Golden had chosen his. And I think I'm going to stick with it because I think it's going to make a weird, interesting narrative. I'm going to be Vago, a Knight of Stormguard.
Okay.
Nice.
Because I think that's going to... I don't know. I think it's going to make it interesting.
I agree. I think that's a very interesting decision.
Mm-hmm.
What are you implying?
Let me just shorten this a little bit so we can get this on screen. Huzzah. So we all can see who we are. Cool. Awesome. There we go. Let's do this. Zero comma, this is the Roll20 module, The Fall of Magic, which you can find on the Roll20 marketplace. It's wonderful. Definitely huge shout outs to them for having this available. Okay, so now the next part of this game. So now that we have all our names and we have our titles, next thing we're going to be doing is selecting our tokens. So you can see up here, we have 5 tokens to choose from. We're going to be selecting 1 token for each of us, and then 1 token to represent the Magus. The Magus is going to be somebody we're going to figure out and kind of learn more about, just like how we're going to find out and learn more about ourselves. So, any of these things jumping out to anybody immediately? I'm kind of leaning towards the tree. But if you see, each coin has a flip side to it. For everything that's good, there's an opposite. So you have like the, snuffed candle versus the lit one. The dead tree of winter versus the vibrant tree of verdant tree of spring. You have a dry lake bed or river bed versus an ocean. The broken sword versus the sword, or the raven or the egg. Anything jumping out to anybody?
I was kind of thinking sword, and it seems like kind of cliche being the knight, but I'm pretty much feeling that. So I'm gonna
take your token, and
you have to assign it to me.
I do, don't I?
Oh no, I got it. Never mind.
Sorry.
I was not. I wasn't on the select tool. That was actually my problem.
Fair enough. Cool.
I was on the text tool.
Do we have one for the Magus? Do we know what icon we want to use or token we want to use for the Magus?
Maybe the egg.
I was thinking the egg. You know that? I was thinking about it.
I like it.
All right, so then the egg will be the Magus. Okay, cool. So it's important to keep your guys' tokens in the middle here.
Okay.
And here's why. Here's what's going to happen. This is how the game gets played, basically. We're going to be taking turns. So let me drag this over so it gets all nice and centered in the map. We're going to be taking turns, bringing our tokens and creating scenes. Scenes are generated based on the prompts that are given at these different zones. So if you see, we're in the Ravenhall zone area, if you will. Ravenhall is described only by the picture that's on this scroll. Everything else will be filled in. It'll give you a little bit of locations based on what's in this red text near it. So for example, at Ravenhall, we have the bridge, the menagerie, rose gardens, and the scrying pool. And the idea is that we're going to be making short dictated scenes, or even, role-playing scenes. You can introduce other characters. Other people can suggest to be in them and play different people. You don't always have to play yourself. You could play NPCs. They don't have to be even in the same linear, chronologically time. But you can just do a scene where you're trying to answer the question that's presented. So, for example, if I was going to make a scene up here at the scrying pool, I would have to make a scene that explains why I serve the Magus. But if I went to the Rose Gardens, because this is different, and I wanted to bring this up here, Rose Gardens gives you these little plus signs and these little descriptions. What's going to happen is if you go to the Rose Garden, you can give yourself one of these little traits or one of these descriptions. I bring this up.
Somebody else.
Excuse me? Or somebody else. Yes. Thank you. Or somebody else. They don't give you bonuses or stats or anything like that. They just help describe your character. However, later on in the game, I will say, there are times when you will gain traits or lose traits. When you cannot gain or lose a trait, sometimes you will lose your name or your title. So those are things to consider going around, and what type of story you want to do. So, that's something to consider. Other than that, the way this game is going to work is that we're all going to take turns. We all have to do at least one scene in each zone, and then the Magus gets to go. And then the Magus will go, I think at Ravenhall they go last here, and then when we're ready to move, basically if we all kind of pass after having our tokens set up somewhere, the Magus gets to make a scene over in the next zone. So right now there's only one extra place to go, and that's the Oak Hills. So the Magus would have to be doing a scene, and just like any other zone, it says the ending of summer. So you make a scene with the Magus about the ending of summer there. And that's about it. And the game will just be played just like that for the rest of it. It's a very easy game, very straightforward. It's mostly just scenes, ready to move on and just continuing a story. Okay? Any questions?
Say two things.
Yeah.
To clarify the rules, once everyone has done at least one scene around, then everyone gets another chance to do a scene if you want to, but you can instead just move the Magus, and as your action, instead of making a scene as yourself, you make it as the Magus.
Correct.
But yeah, when it's your turn, you can just decide to do that. You don't have to wait for everybody to pass. It's sometimes polite if some people, you can be like, hey, do you have another scene you want to do here? Because I wanted to be the Magus, or whatever. That's fair.
Totally.
The other thing was, I want to propose that all of us are willing to just say right now, so it's not awkward or whatever later, that we welcome you to just jump into any scene as an NPC, and just anything you want to say to establish, as long as it's not contradictory, is going to be true then.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, that's how I like to play. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So I'll kick it off. All right. I would like to go to the Rose Gardens. And what I would like to do here at the Rose Gardens is I would like to have a flashback scene, essentially, at this moment. So where this scene takes place is we see with the name of River. I like the idea of him being a young squire. So at this moment, we see a young squire kind of like dressed up for battle. He's like tailing behind a knight, and he's got sort of like the extra lances and everything like that. And everybody is giving this knight, whoever this is, he's decked out with a shiny plate mail, and think of your classic paladin on a horseback, right? Everybody's like showering him with things like that, and the squire is just kind of like being the caddy to to this guy, and or girl, I'm not sure, because the visor's down and they're waving and everything, and then somebody like tugs on his leg. He's like didn't really see her. And it's like the beautiful farm girl, and gives them a rose, and as like a you're going off to war. Here's something nice, and someone gave the squire a rose. And now that we like come back to the present, I think we see River looking at the same kind of rose bush, and kind of remembering that token or the token of affection before going to war, and seeing that these are the same type of roses growing in these rose gardens. And I like to give myself the beautiful trait, because I think I still keep that rose. And I'm establishing that. I still carry that same rose as like a boutonniere on my my cloak, or like beneath my cloak, like a like where like the hand of the king pin would go. Like it's a rose that never falters, right? It never, while it's been trimmed and plucked, it's been there for years. It's never lost a leaf or anything like that. It's still just as fresh as the same day. Magic. Yeah. So that's my scene.
Nice. Let me just ask a question. Does it actually have to be in Ravenhall? The scene we're doing now?
Like I would imagine, like the first part of that, like that was like a flashback that we get because he's looking at a thing in Ravenhall, and then the scene resolves there.
Yeah.
But like in the present, you'd be there in Ravenhall. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and just because one token is in one scene zone doesn't mean that you can't do that one either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do something kind of weird.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to the scrying pool to explore why I serve the Magus. So we see the Magus sitting at the edge of the scrying pool. And the Magus is a fairly spry looking old man, probably 60, maybe older, maybe younger, but at least that's the age he appears to be. And he's kneeling next to the pool, staring deeply into its depths. And behind him walks a figure of a knight, so similar to the knight in River's memory. Armor more battered, having taken a beating and then been beaten out again and repainted multiple times in the intervening years. And the figure of the knight stands there and waits for the magus to finish what he was doing. And finally, the magus tips his hand to the water and sends ripples across, and shakes his hand once or twice, and stands and turns around and looks at Bago and says, "If we succeed, she will live."
Ooh.
And then it cuts out.
Okay. Cool.
Nice.
Something about someone's life in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to go to the bridge. You're facing the river.
Mm-hmm.
So we see fawn. It's really a deep fawn. She puts her, deer-like face down to the river and looks at the river, and seeing that they're themselves in the reflection. And it's just like a young deer. And then there's something in the bushes that startles her. Like she thinks she hears someone coming, and she bolts away. And that'll be my scene.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna do a scene. I'm actually gonna go over to the bridge as well. I think the person who's chasing you, like through the brush, is River.
Okay.
I think River is following you, and
yeah, fawn just
um,
cut their a little bit, and then they slow down, eat the grass, and think they're safe until they hear the noise again.
yeah, and I like laugh, like wait, kind of thing, and I think I get to the side of the river, and like, so you were probably on the other side of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And my face in the river. I think I look in the river pretty introspectively, and I say like maybe like to myself, I kind of say like I just wanted to be your friend, and like I look down kind of sad in the river, and I think we see River. He's a little older now, or they're a little older now than the earlier scene with like going to war and stuff like that. So instead of being 13 or so, he's probably about 18. He's kind of like filled out a little bit.
Yeah, which title did you choose for yourself again at your Rose Garden?
What? I'm sorry.
Hero
What?
of Barleytown.
Yeah, I'm the hero of Barleytown.
Oh, I thought you went to the Rose Garden.
I did earlier, and I chose beautiful.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and so now,
He is the beautiful hero of Barleytown.
Yeah, I think the fawn like saying a beautiful face would, and
And I'm like, come here, come on.
That's how you talk about animals.
Yeah,
Come here.
I'm like, come here.
Over here.
You know, like I'm trying to like call it over.
And she trots over to you cautiously. And are you armed at all?
No.
Okay.
I think this is just a time when we are like just hanging out at Ravenhall. And
I guess she like stops a few feet away from you, like just looking at you. The
Yeah.
giant doe eyes.
maybe I go into my pocket, and you know, and you get maybe for a second you maybe get skittish or something like that. But then I like pull out some like some kind of treat or something that a fawn would like. What kind of food would fawn like?
Is it sugary?
Celery?
Sugar.
Oh, sugar. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
It's a sugar cube.
Hard to find sugar cubes in the wild.
Yeah.
So fawn like trots over and licks the sugar cube.
Yeah. So I'm like, here you go. Here you go.
Face.
Yeah, and I try to pet fawn. May I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this works out.
Yeah. There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Thanks.
Good.
That is cute.
Therefore,
I want to do another scene, but I don't know which one I want to do. I'm gonna go to the Rose Gardens.
Okay.
So we see Vago again, dressed completely in armor. Visor is up, but it's shading their face. You can't really see it. And they walk slowly through the garden, taking methodically taking off their gauntlet, taking off their gloves, and then slowly, after tying them to their belt, just running their hands along the delicate flowers. And then we see in like an opposite flashback from what River had shown earlier, or like a continuation of the same flashback, I think would be a better way to would be better. We see the two of them heading off to war, where it starts off with the innocent River receiving a rose, but then quickly like smash cuts to the paladin figure with a huge sword just chomping through enemies, and deep guttural yells as this fight rages on for a moment before we see them again, petals falling to the ground where they've been touching the roses. And Vargo is fierce.
Ooh, cool.
Nice. I'm gonna go to the menagerie. I'm actually sure how to pronounce this word.
Menagerie.
Menagerie.
Yeah.
There we go. And I think we see Fawn in the menagerie, and she's looking at all the amazing creatures here. The thing is that none of them are creatures of flesh; they're creatures of spirit and light. And she's going, among these creatures until she comes to her parents, which are, gigantic spirit deer. And I think her father like puts her head down, puts his head down to the ground up, and Fawn, are we leaving? Am I coming with you? And her father says, "No, you still have a duty to perform in this world. When that duty is fulfilled, you can come with all of us." And then we see the two spirit deer, fly up into the sky with all the other animals.
Ooh.
And leaves Fawn alone in the
Aw.
empty gardens.
Oh, it's like some kind of weird, sad Bambi. Cool. Does anybody else want to do something, or can we move the Magus?
I'm alright to move the Magus.
Yeah, move it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do a scene with the Magus for the ending of summer. I think so we take our tokens off the table, but I'm just moving them over here. It's fine. The ending of summer, as we were leaving Ravenhall, the citizens of Ravenhall, they're big into festivals. And at the peak of summer, or I guess at the end of summer, when the weather starts to change, I think it's when there's a constellation, right? There's a constellation that breaches the horizon. And when it's complete, that's when the end of summer happens. I think Golden, what is that constellation?
Of stars?
Yeah, what is it? That
It's
that demarks the ending, the
Is-
start of fall, or
Oh.
like the end of summer.
You
The growing season is
Let's
now
make
over.
one up.
Now it's harvest, right?
want me to just make one up?
Yeah, I'm asking you what it is. What is it?
Okay, because I got real definitional there for a second. It's going to be it's going to be a basket.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a basket. Okay. So the it's gotta have a good name though, not just basket. It's gotta have like or well anyways, the
Oh.
basket the
Basket.
basket's now in the sky. It's evening. I think there was like a party or something, and so it's nighttime. We see the little like sconces in like light tiki torches, but like torches in the ground. Like the banners and like the little festival things are the festival tents, the pavilions are still there, and but nobody's around because everybody at this point, they go to the scrying pool, and I think one at a time. I think one at a time the citizens of Ravenhall step forward to the scrying pool, and we see the Magus touch his hand in the water again and ripple, and then each person comes forward to this pool with a little tiny like candle boat, and they like put the candle in something, and it's always like for remembering somebody or something, or it's a wish if you're a kid, right? And the Magus gives you a little like magic 8-ball kind of cryptic thing about each and everyone's thing. And I think maybe right before that or something, I think the Magus, who, by the way, if this is a movie, their Magus is played by Denzel Washington. Just saying that. He mentions, he says like he knows this is the last. He says this is the last one, so make these ones good, no bummers. So like can't like he's saying no sad ones here, and so I think as we do that, I mean we go to the Oak Hills, we see our troop marching off, but in the distance we see the silhouette of Castle Ravenhall, and we see the scrying pool full of his little flickering candles, and that's the ending of summer.
Cool.
And we made our way to the Oak Hills.
Yes, so now we are in the Oak Hills.
Mm.
We have made it. So
All right.
I don't really particularly care of the order of how we do this, as long as everybody goes at least once, right? So here we have the Harper's Road, Making Camp, Firelight, and At Dawn. We can do any of these.
I am going to go with the Harper's Road.
Okay.
So we already know that Vago left someone behind. And I think it's on the Harper's Road that they're telling the story. And River knows this story. I've heard it 100 times before. That Vago's true love is Lucilia. And Lucilia is a witch. And she is also dying with the magic. And without this journey, if we fail, then she will fall. And they have to do it now. Because although the Magus could probably live another 5 years, she's not gonna make next summer. So it's deathly important that they make it. And they make it quickly. And this brings a little bit of a heavy tone to the beginning of the journey. Just so after all of the little boats sailed, I think like we get a cut back to that, and we see Vago did not light a candle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, I can go. I'm going Making Camp. So we see Fawn in the woods, and she's, laying down like underneath this old bush, and pushed all the grass up, pushed all the grass down, kind of making it like a nest, like deer do. When she has her whistling coming through the branches, and an arrow lands into her side, and wounded, she gets up. It didn't kill her, but it hurts, and she sees this young boy who's a hunter chasing her, and they go on this chase, and eventually she loses him in these great brambles, and as the young hunter tries to follow her, he eventually loses her trail. But he finds instead this giant bush full of berries that's going to keep him fed and his family fed. So that Fawn is kind.
Aww. Yeah, so I think I think I'm gonna do your morning ritual. All right, and I think at dawn. You know what? This is this is the morning. This is the morning after everyone's made camp in the Oak Hills, and I still think I think River is the first one up, and I think River is always the dutiful one. So they're already fetching pails of water, and for both Vago and the Magus. My question is, do we see Fawn at the river?
I think you see her with the Magus. Maybe the Magus is removing the arrow from her side.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I come back and I see that. Okay. Cool. And I think we ended there.
Nice. Did anybody want to do another scene? Because I've got an idea for moving the Magus to Barley Town.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the hospitality of the Barley Lord. So we see the Magus walking into town. He's got like a walking stick. He doesn't need it to walk, but it's like the staff of office of Magus, you know? And so he has to have it. And flanked on either side by Vago and River, walking into the town. And the town is just going about its normal business. And slowly, as people notice the knights and the knight and the hero and the Magus, the shout goes up. And soon enough, the person that they're cheering is not the Magus, but River. The hero come home. And in the company of the Magus, no less. How impressive. And of course, the Barley Lord finds himself in a little bit of a pickle because he planned to have a feast in the Magus's honor, but now the populace is demanding one for the hero of the town. And so he holds a huge feast in River's honor with a special guest of the Magus. And the Magus nods in understanding and says, "You have done a wise thing, although it may not seem it." And just kind of smiles as the party rages on through the night.
Okay. I need someone to play the Magus with me for this scene that I want to do. So I want to go to the farmer's market. Because this is going to be like the day after or so. Or a day later.
Sure. Would you like to be the Magus, Golden, or I'll do it again?
I can do it.
Whoever wants to do it.
And so I'm going with the Magus here, doing errand shopping with the Magus. And also I want to know a little bit more about the Magus. So somebody gets to play the Magus.
Okay.
Okay.
The Magus is rumbling in
Yeah.
a deep voice.
So like so the Magus, I imagine we're in a, now we're on like this market square or whatever of Barleytown. The basket is, you know, it's been seen now, so now people are harvesting, and so there's like more produce and everything around. Things are bountiful, and there's trade aplenty here at the farmer's market. I imagine the Magus to have some kind of like grocery list in his head of things we need, and I'm kind of supposed to just be the errand boy of this. So
first we need to find 7 unpolished marbles.
Unpolished marbles. I mean, I of course. I mean, I think old Dan has kids' toys. He might have some marbles, but why?
Because
if you don't mind me asking,
a polished marble always goes straight. We must have marbles that will meander along the paths that we must take, not the ones that we set for ourselves.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
The ways of magic are not always apparent. In order to cast a spell that will allow us to follow the trail of magic, I need to use marbles.
Very well. I'll get you your marbles. And I do. I mean, I get you a whole bag of marbles.
Yes.
I get you more marbles than you need. Is that bad?
No, that's terrible.
All right, no, I bring you back like a bag of marbles. What happens?
I think he reaches into the bag of marbles.
Yeah.
He does so without even looking at them, and this like green eldritch light comes blowing out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And when he moves his hand, it looks like it's been badly burned, and he's like gasping in pain.
Sir, I mean, are you okay?
There's too many marbles. And I think he collapses into American Square.
Ooh, okay.
Yikes.
Yikes. All right, I think that's my scene.
Sorry, too many marbles.
It's okay. That's good.
Oh man. All right, I think I'm gonna go to Swine Hill and revisit a battle fought long ago. While the two of them are at the market, Vago goes out to the site of an old battlefield. And as he walks among what is now just a simple grassy hill, you can see the memories flash of the battle that was fought there. River, a few years younger, chasing after them with a change of weapon. And in fact, they get to a certain point, this one spot on the hill, and looks around, and finally we get the cut into the the memory. And instead of standing there calmly at the top of the hill, like wind whipping around, we see like the same kind of wind whipping around, but instead it's a battle banner, and cuts across the camera, and then we're like in the past, and a heavy blow hits their armor, and they go down, and River picks up their sword and winds up earning the title of the hero of Barley Town here at the top of this hill, turning the battle around and saving Vago's life. And we see Vago take a knee, and again their visor goes up and we can't see their face, but like we get that like cut to like the dirt where like teardrops fall, and a voiceover that just says, "I'm sorry, River."
Neat.
Yeah. Okay. Fawn, what are you doing?
What about Dodo's farm?
Okay.
Well, just going in the farm because she's going to eat the farm. Literally, that's what that's what Dare do, right? But Mathilda's there. She's like an old woman.
Sure.
With her husband and her children, which are middle aged now and also parents. And they're calling to the Dare, cover. And Fawn comes to the couple, and Mathilda has this bowl, and she pours in spices of different things and stirs it and presses it. And as she does so, like milk seems to seep from the walls of the bowl, and all of Mathilda's family and Mathilda get younger and younger until they're all like in their late teens. And Fawn comes and drinks the milk. And soon the milk is gone and they are all astonished. So Mathilda's like, what happened? You are so young and unexperienced. We thought you need to grow older to have the knowledge and ability to overcome the trials ahead.
And is what Mathilda gave you?
Yeah, she tried to give me her years of experience,
Oh,
but Fawn
that's
couldn't
spooky.
accept them.
Yeah.
She stayed young.
Okay. And I think on that, we're going to take our first break because it's top of the hour. So we'll be back, guys, in 5 minutes for more Fall of Magic.